Hi.
Hi, are you sure this course is just for 2499?
Yes, and you know this is the only course with this expertise across the world.
No way!
Yes way. Don't delay. Enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Geeks for Geeks. My name is Muskan Agarwal and we have Juzer with us today. He is going to tell us about his company BitKraft Technologies, and we are going to see a lot of opportunities that are there in his company, and he's going to tell us the procedure that BitKraft Technologies follows to hire people there. So yes, but before I add him to the stream, just let me know in the comment section if I'm perfectly visible and audible, so that I will add my guest to the stream. Yeah, just give me a thumbs up in the comment section if I'm perfectly visible and audible, and then I can add my guest to the stream. Good to go, great. So I'll just add him. Yeah. Hi, Juzer.
Hey, hi Muskan. Good evening, and
Yeah.
good evening to all who have joined today.
Yeah, great. So as we all know that the students are already excited about this webinar. So can you briefly tell what BitKraft Technologies already or do, and like what is it all about? I think there is some problem. Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Muskan. Can you just repeat the question, please?
Yeah, sure, sure. So I wanted to ask you, can you tell the audience what BitKraft Technologies is all about? What do you guys do?
Sure. So, BitKraft Technologies is a 9-year-old software engineering consultancy. We founded the company in 2014. Me and my partner Ali who co-founded this company, and basically what we do is that we provide consultancy services to our customers with whatever problems they have. They come to us with problems, and we kind of use cutting edge technologies and consult them, and of course develop them the application which they want to get developed. What we
Hmm.
do is that we have a range of solutions which we've built over the past 9 years. They range from simple social media applications which can be used on your phones, tablets, to enterprise systems which are deployed on the cloud and process terabytes of data. And the domains which we cater to are the airline industry, the healthcare industry, GST. We also do a lot of work in the machine learning space. ERP is something which we've recently started, and we have collaborated with an open source ERP system to deploy to the client's premises. Then we also do some work in the e-learning, real estate, and yeah, a lot of more such domains which we cater to.
That sounds really amazing. I can already see a lot of comments, but to the audience, I would like to say that we will take the comments in the end. So, yeah, like you can post your comments, but we will take all those doubts in the end. Yes. So, the next thing I wanted to ask you, what is your mission and, what is your vision for BitCraft Technologies?
Sure. So, delivering premium software engineering consultancy and development services at a global stage. That is what our main mission is, and of course, sticking to the quality standards.
Hmm.
That is one of the most critical aspects which we feel needs to be delivered along with our solutions. Now, in the market, you will find a lot of companies who provide development services, but usually what sets us apart is we deep dive into the customer needs, and we understand from a client standpoint what exactly do they want, and we also
Right.
provide recommendations like as if it was our product or requirement. We just don't take any requirement as you let us know and then we'll develop it for you. We kind of go in and out and make the best solution possible for the client.
Great. Also, a lot of students that are watching this want to, work in your company. So, how would you describe the values as far as employees are concerned? So, what are the values that you guys follow for them?
Sure. So the critical values which all of our employees follow, our main thing is determination. Once you get onboarded, there would be a lot of things which you will be given responsibility for. So, and being determined and sticking along to it, that is one of the most critical things. Courage is something which is really important, because what happens here at BitKraft is that a lot of the requirements come from the client, which we've never developed before. So our work is to understand that, come up with a technological solution and then deliver it to the client. So a lot of our solutions we have not even delivered before. So everything is new at BitKraft. Each project is new. So having that courage of and believing in yourself that you will be able to achieve it along with the team, that is something which is really important.
That's
Focusing on the
great.
customer focus is something which is very important.
Right.
One of the important aspects which we feel that all of our employees should have is, they should be able to think around what the customer wants, instead of client telling us that you do this or do that. So that is something which is really important. And of course, quality. The work which everyone needs to perform needs to be at the highest quality standards.
Hmm.
So that's what it is.
Definitely. Those are some great values, I think. Right. So, then the next thing is, what are the key technologies that, BitCraft Technologies are working on?
Sure. So right now, actively, what technologies we are working on is Node, Angular. In the mobile space, we do native development on iOS, Android, and hybrid. In hybrid, we do Ionic, React Native, and Flutter. At the back end, we do PHP, Python, of course, Node. I said earlier also. We also do a lot of machine learning and AI projects, wherein there are a lot of engineering related activities, plus creation of models, predictions, all those things also we kind of work on. Cloud space, containerization, deployment on the cloud, that is also something which we actively do. Dev operations is one of our stems at BitCraft. And the one very important thing is that we are always open to new technologies. It's not something that we are fixed. We are in the services domain. We need to adapt, and learning new
Hmm.
technologies is always there as a thing in BitCraft.
Correct. But there would be a lot of freshers that are might maybe not even aware about these technologies. So, like, what is your suggestion to the students who are looking for entry level jobs and do not have a lot of experience in these tech stacks?
Sure. I think the primary thing which everyone needs to work on is problem solving skills. Syntactically, you would be able to learn any technology which you want, but the ability to identify the problem and come up with a solution is something people need to get hands on. That is not learned by learning any X language. It won't be that if you learn front end only you will learn that. That's not how it is. This is a very core aspect of what programming is. Problem solving is, that is a must for every entry level guy who wants to join the IT industry.
Definitely. The problem solving and logic is more important, I think, if you guys want to, work at BitCraft Technologies. Definitely.
Sure.
So, talking about this, can you let us know that what are all the vacancies that are there in BitCraft Technologies? And, is it entry level job, or is it, you're looking for something else, or is there any internships available? Can you tell us a bit about that?
So freshers are always welcome at BitCraft. We feel that any fresher has a lot more ideas than a lot of our existing employees who kind of work with us for years. Freshers bring brand new ideas. They have their own way of thinking, so that is always welcome. But actively right now, what we are looking at from a technology standpoint is full stack development in web and mobile. We also have some openings for database and backend engineers. We have very critical openings for Angular developers, to be very precise. But as I said, more or less any special talented individuals, who can join at BitKraft, they are always welcome.
Definitely. And like, what is the hiring procedure? Like, how many rounds are there? Online assessment or interviews? Like, what is all the procedure that is followed?
So usually we have a pipeline in place. So
Hmm.
just to give a short description on the pipeline, there would be an initial HR screening, which Hardika from our team manages, and she has some more people with her. So that's the initial round. After that, the candidates are sent an online test, which is 30 to 35 minutes long. In that, multiple stems are evaluated for the candidate, be it technical or communication skill wise. And then there is a one-on-one and technical interview. So yeah, I think once the candidate clears the final technical round, more or less he's kind of selected.
Okay, okay. And like, what is the online assessment about? Like, is it, development front end, back end based, or is it DSA based? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so the online assessment is actually more from a logical standpoint.
Hmm.
Communication is really critical to how we work at Bitcraft. So your communication skills are evaluated, your determination skills are evaluated, and there is also one evaluation which kind of lets us know that what position a candidate is favorable for. Is he more into the management aspect, or is he more into the leading aspect, or the
Right.
technical aspect? That's what we kind of get to know.
Definitely. So I would like to ask that last year also you partnered up with Geeks for Geeks, and like, what are your expectations out of Geeks for Geeks like this year? What are you looking forward to?
Sure. So, to be really frank, that Geeks for Geeks has consistently been providing us, good quality candidates. Their relationship manager is also, directly available over email and calls, and whatever tweaks we want to make into our hiring pipeline, that is, directly communicated so that we get the right candidate. And
Right.
I would say that Geek for Geeks is one of our top three sources for candidates. So I really want to congratulate you guys on there. And from a long term perspective, yes, we are looking Geeks for Geeks as a long term partner, and having a very fruitful relationship with you guys.
That is really great. Then I would like to ask that what are your views upon Job-A-Thon, and do you think it can help tier 3 or some students who are not in very good colleges to start up with their career?
Sure. So, what I believe is that India has a great potential. Of course, that potential is already getting kickstarted, and the future is bright for the IT sector in India. Now, since internet is high speed internet is available across the country right now, access to skill development resources is not only limited to big cities. So everyone has access to the internet. Anyone can go online and start learning themselves. I think
Definitely.
this Job-A-Thon organized by you guys is creating a bridge so that the companies like us and potential candidates, job seekers can get get connected, and things can work out. Yep.
Definitely. Also, apart from technical roles, are there any management roles also available at BitKraft Technologies? I think there's some lag. Hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Sorry, Muskan,
Hello,
I am not able to hear you.
I'm not audible. Just 1 second, guys. We will fix you.
Yeah, I think there is some muffle. Yeah, your voice is muffling actually.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll just fix. Just a minute. Hello, am I audible? Guys, can you confirm if we are audible or not in the comment section? Uh, can you try speaking once? Hello. Yeah, I think you're mute.
Yeah, I can hear you, Muskan, in bits and pieces.
Okay. I am not really sure,
Yes, I
like
think
my
this is
internet connection. This is better. Okay, I was
yes, I
asking
think
that
this is
apart from technical roles, are there any managerial roles also available at BitKraft Technologies?
Yes, so we have a dedicated recruitment team in place, which dedicatedly looks at recruiting the brightest candidates possible.
Hmm.
We do have an HR role, so that is already taken care of. But recruitment is something which we would need. So that positions are opening.
Okay, that's great. At last, I would like to ask that if you have any message for the candidates who are watching this video and who want, who are seeking for an opportunity at BitKraft Technologies, what is your message for them?
Yeah, I think as I said even earlier that working on your problem solving skills, that
Hmm.
is a key aspect of joining Bitcraft.
Right.
We are not looking for any candidates who does only Flutter or only does Angular or only does PHP. We want people who can think out of the box, come up with solutions, and work with us, and to sustain the requirements of the clients. The other thing which is critical is that thinking from a client's perspective, we also don't want people who are told each and everything. We want people who kind of go into the depths, interact with clients, try to think according how the client thinks, and work accordingly. These two aspects are really critical for anyone who is looking for an opportunity at Bitcraft.
That's great. I hope people watching this do, land up an internship or a full-time opportunity at BitCraft. Now, maybe I can take few of the questions from the comment section. Yes. So Sunkara is asking that what are the roles that you are hiring? I think you already told, but if you would like to repeat.
Sure. So the roles which we are hiring are junior software developer and senior software developer both. As I
Hmm.
said, that we don't want to be very specific in our hiring. We don't want a junior
Right.
Angular or a senior PHP. We want software engineer. So that is the key role
Right.
which we are hiring for. And the number of openings are five, six. I mean, we are open to a lot of people. So
Correct. Then Debojyoti has asked that is there any internship opportunity at BitCraft Technologies?
So we had a good run with internships when in the pre-COVID era.
Hmm.
Right now, what we feel, I and my partner both, that internships are something which are kind of done in person. Remote internships are a bit difficult. You start off with the internship, but since you're not able to interact with everyone in person, the development seems slow. So since the COVID restrictions are still in place, right now we are not
Right.
undertaking any internship opportunities. But
Hmm.
if there are any exceptional candidates who are willing to work with us for at least for a minimum of 6 months internship, I think we would be okay for that.
Okay. Then, like everything right now is virtual. Like everything that you're working on is virtual, right?
Yes.
But what is the location of the company? Many people are asking.
So we are based out of Mumbai. Our main development center and headquarters is at Fort Mumbai in the Ballard
Hmm.
Estate area, and
Okay.
majority of our employees are from Mumbai. But there
Okay.
are some remote people who we work with. One is based in Agra, one is based in Chandigarh, one is based in Bangalore. But majority of our team is from
Hmm.
Mumbai. And whenever
Okay, that's
we
great.
get a chance, we call them to office in a hybrid model. People don't need to come dedicatedly every day,
Hmm.
but you are required to come to office for a couple of days.
Okay, great. So I can see a lot of comments for internships. I think he told that like if there are exceptional candidates, then they can consider students for internship as well. But you have to dedicate a minimum of 6 months for that.
Correct.
Yes. So then Sunkara is asked that is there any time for register, or is there any time wherein they can enroll for the opportunity?
So the openings are valid, so we have dedicatedly open positions at BitKraft. There is no such
Hmm.
fixed time frame. But of course, there are immediate basis for which we are hiring a lot of for our projects.
Hmm.
But after those seats are filled, there would be very less opportunities for people to join, because the R&D team, which is kind of open 24/7, that we need really really good people.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, always open. If there are people who are willing to work out of the box, we are okay to taking them on board.
Definitely. Also, like, is there any portal or something, like how can the students apply if they want to?
So we have kept the registration process pretty simple. They just need to email their resumes to hr@bitcraft.co.in.
Hmm.
Or we also have a careers page actually. I don't know, Muskan, I can share that with you. You can share it with people. Yeah, and you can
Sure.
also log on to our website, bitcraft.co.in. There is a careers section. You can apply from there as well. So once you apply, our HR team will get in touch with you, and they will
Hmm.
take the pipeline ahead from there.
Definitely. Guys, we will put the link in the description box below and you can, apply it from there if you want. Then Digvijay has asked that is there any initial training provided by you?
So there is no such formal training in place right now. So
Hmm.
as I said, that even freshers who are very good logical problem solvers, we take them on board. They need not need to know any particular language as such, but who are having a basic understanding of web technologies and how they work. That is more than sufficient. So once we take you on board, we kind of expect that you will be a self learner. Of course, you would be put on a team who would have seniors and technical architects, and they would guide you through your initial learning curve. So that is what it is right now.
Definitely. So, and then people are asking what are the eligible batches? I think they're asking for the internship opportunity, like 2023 can apply or 2022. Like, is there any such criteria?
There is no such. I don't think so. There is any criteria. I
Hmm.
think the only criteria is that if you're applying at Bitcraft, you should not be having any active KTs. I think that's the
Right.
only criteria I can think of.
Definitely. So I think I have taken all the questions. Guys, if you have any other questions, we will wait for another 30 to 35 seconds and you can put your questions. Yeah. Then Anand is asking that is recording available? Yes, the recording would be available on our channel Geeks for Geeks. You can watch it afterwards as well. Okay. Also, if these guys have any other question, they can connect with you on LinkedIn
Sure, sure.
afterwards. Sure. So we will put his LinkedIn on in the description box. You guys can, even after the webinar, if you have any questions while applying or anything, you can connect with him on LinkedIn and ask your doubts. Yeah. Uh, compensate. So I think there are no other questions for now. Let's just wait for. Then Jamesh has asked that any particular skills that are required.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the question is particularly directed to skills, so I would say that JavaScript is something which people should know out of the box. Because using JavaScript, you can do front end and back end development both. And a lot of
Right.
these very critical frameworks for web development are using JavaScript. And in JavaScript also, working on TypeScript as a programming thing is the new thing, and that is
Hmm.
something which people should have an idea about.
Great. And then Anand has asked that areas where BitKraft is working. I think you already took this question initially, but if you want to
Yeah,
answer it.
sure. So other domains which we work with and have worked in before are the airline industry. A lot of low cost carriers in India are our clients. We process their entire GST taxation and file it with the GST servers. We do a lot of work in the healthcare industry. A very big US healthcare company is one of our clients. We cater
Hmm.
to them. E-learning, real estate. So since we are a services company, there is no definite domain which we work with. As I said when I started the
Right.
interview, that solving a customer's problem is our key thing. So a customer could be from any domain.
Definitely. Customer is number one and rest everything follows. I think this is one of the principles that, which is very important for any company.
Yep.
Yes. Uh, just one second. Yes. I think we've taken all the questions that are there. Still, I would like to repeat, if you have any questions, you can connect with Juzer on LinkedIn. We will link his LinkedIn profile in the description box and, clear your doubts. Apart from that, thank you so much for coming for this webinar. I hope this year as well you get a lot of good talent from Geeks for Geeks. Thank you so much for coming.
Sure, Muskan, sure. And I thank Geeks for Geeks also for holding this session, and all the best to all the candidates who are listening and are going to apply to us. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys, for joining as well. We will see you in the next webinar. Bye.
Bye bye.